Here we have these two geometries. So let's start with this first one. Let's assume that we want to create multiple copies of this rectangle along this circle. For that, polar command can be used. So click on this array button and go to polar array. Now select this rectangle and press enter. Now you'll see on your command line that it prompts you to select the center point of array. So center point of array will be the center of this imaginary circle. You may or may not need this circle. This is only for your reference. So let's click at the center of this circle. As soon as you do this, you'll see a temporary array appears here and 6 copies of this object will be created. We can again manipulate it using this temporary array creation ribbon. So let's move to number of items first. So right now we have 6 items. Let's change it to 24 and press tab key. As soon as you'll do this, you can see that the angle in between each 2 items is changed and a total angle of 360 degree will be added. If you don't want to add this array to complete 360 degrees, you can change the angle to 270, press tab, or you can even change angle to something else if you want. So now this complete object, 24 objects, will be filled within an angle of 270 degrees. So let's keep it at 360 for now and let's press tab again. Now here we have rows. Right now only a single row is there. If you add more rows, like 3 rows in this case, you'll see more objects will be added. You can increase the gap between these objects to make it more clear, and let's add a gap of 25 and you will be able to observe it more clearly. So here we have these 3 rows, but obviously we want to keep it 1 so that we can clearly see this object. Again, in this case, if you add more levels will be added along z axis or the z coordinate, which we cannot see right now because we are working in 2D geometry. Here again we have an associative option. So when you keep this associative option turned on, you can manipulate, you can change your array even after creating it. So let's keep it unchecked because in the previous case of rectangular array we have kept it checked. Now we're not going to change the base point, but this is the base point for this object, so you can change it, you can manipulate it according to your needs. So right now this rotate items button is checked. When you uncheck it, you'll see that the alignment of this primary object remains as it is throughout the array. So that means this array object, they all are parallel to each other. But when you click on rotate items, you'll see that the objects start rotating, and when it returns back to the original state, it has already made a complete revolution of 360 degrees. So now we have seen and we have made some changes to this array. Let's click on close array now. And now when you click on any object, you'll see that this is a completely different unit and you cannot return back to the array manipulation ribbon because we have selected a non-associative, or we have unchecked associative option from array ribbon. Now in this geometry, let's create a polar array. So let's select polar and select these 2 lines and press enter. Now we need to select center point of array, which is obviously center of this circle. So select it, and now we have this array. You can increase number of items to, let's say, 24, and here we have a complete array, and this represents a wheel or a bicycle wheel. Now let's close this array to complete this geometry. So this is how you can create a polar array.